Aloha, everyone. Happy Aloha Friday, and welcome back to another episode of Manoa Valley Theater Live. My name is Dylan Chase Lee, and I am your host. And it's been 18 episodes, folks. 18 episodes. Thank you for everyone who have been tuning in every Friday at 4 and listening to me speak. No, that's a bit conceited. I'm going to stop now. As always, what MVT episode would it be if I didn't make things awkward? Anyways, let's bring out our main man, Kip Wilborn. Kip.
Hey, Dylan.
How are you doing?
I'm so glad we can always depend on you. Always there.
Always there.
Well, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Just kind of preparing for Douglas when Douglas arrives on Sunday. Talk about a guy who doesn't want to socially distance. Douglas just wants to arrive in.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Hey, we got, I guess it was last week, we got new bumper music.
Yes, we did.
So there's a story behind that.
Yes, there is. So the bumper music that you heard today is very different from the stock iMovie music that you've been hearing for the past 16 episodes. For episode 17 and 18 on, our bumper music was actually made by an alumni of MVT Live, James Mears. And if you like his music, you can check him out at youtube.com/James Mears Music.
Yeah. So it was composed and performed by James. So, James, if you're watching today, thank you.
Yeah.
And if you're not, thank you. So, what's going on around the theater? Well, we have a new arrival at the theater, or partially there. Anyway, I don't know if any of you were with us on the hottest Friday of the year up to that point last August. There may have been some hotter days later, but at that point, it was the hottest one. And an hour and a half before the curtain was going up for Rocky Horror Show, the air conditioning died. Mm. And we embarked on an incredibly warm 4-show weekend. And I want to say thank you to all of you guys for hanging in there. Only one person asked for a refund. That was great. We had full houses all weekend. But it was Rocky Horror Show, so nobody was wearing anything on stage anyway. It was easy. It was raucous. And the audience, they had a good time. So, and it was at that time you say, hey, you remember when that happened? Well, as of yesterday, they have begun installing the new air conditioner.
Yes.
So when you come back, oh, right, Dylan, for sure. So Dylan, when you're in there building a set, it's not going to be as bad as it was.
Yeah, I got some AC going. I always envied you folks in the office. You guys just, AC.
Rank has its privileges. There you go.
Wow.
Anyway, so I want to make a special appeal to everyone. Please make a donation today for the air conditioner. This is a huge expense. And so just, a few dollars, just, go to our website after the show and MonroeValleyTheater.com and make that donation and help us keep going, because when you get back in the theater, you'll be in the AC. So
yeah,
it works both ways. All right. Let me see. This is the last week that you can see Shipment Day on MVT at home. The link is there. Dylan's showing us the page on the website, and you just go right there and click on that, and you can watch it live at any time you want to watch it. So you're not bound to some schedule. So grab your popcorn, go watch it. Besides, this is a fantastic play. We did this in our 50th anniversary season, and it's a story that was so important. It's about the Hansen's disease or leprosy and how they use Kalapapa as a place to ship people off to. So this is a story of one person who did end up in Kalapapa, and Lorenzo Di Stefano was so generous to give us the rights to stream this. And thank you, Lorenzo, if you're watching today. And so this is the last week, July 31st, and it's done. So please take a look. If you haven't seen it before, you need to see this story. If you have seen it before, I'm sure you want to see it again. So that's this week. Okay. On September 12th, Bamboo Ridge Press is going to be joining us with a joint fundraiser. This is going to be it'll be in the house, in MVT's house, and limited audience with spacing and being very, careful with that. And it's a poetry reading by award-winning poet Kathy Song. So we'll be doing it live in the theater, but we'll also be streaming it live if you'd like to watch it that way. So that's September 12th. So keep an eye out for that. We're looking forward to it. And speaking of another virtual event, on August 10th, Stars Night In, we always said Stars Night Out, but it's the Ocala Awards, and it will be a virtual Ocala. So August 10th. So keep an eye out for that as well. This weekend, hurricane. I mean, like, as if we need something else, right?
Yeah.
Douglas, are you kidding me? Talk about an unwanted guest.
Yeah.
So everybody, go ahead.
No, I have no words for Douglas.
Right.
Yeah.
Just be safe. Just be smart. Be safe. If you haven't gotten, stuff together in case this turns out to be bad, because on occasion it does. Everything's fine until it's not. So, prepare for it. Be ready, and be careful and take care of yourself. COVID-19 update. 60 new cases today. That's like 3 record-breaking days in a row. So everybody, Come on. Wear your mask, socially distance, be smart. Don't act like this is just not a thing. It's a thing. Lots of folks have died from this. If we're going to get open again, if we're going to have tourism back here, we've all got to do our part. So please take that to heart. Let me see. Am I missing anything? No, I think we've got everything. So Dylan, you got quite a show today.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And these two are roaring to go. So let's get started, shall we?
All right.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Kip.
Okay.
All right, so our first guest is the founder, artistic director, and, as he puts it, the head janitor at Kailua State Park. He will be entertaining at Yale University and has been seen on stage and in the directing chair here in Hawaii and on Broadway. He is and is an expert. As well as directing MVT stage gifts and It's a Wonderful Life. We welcome to the show today, Keavney. Kevin.
Hey, Dylan.
How are you doing?
Good, man. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Good.
Good.
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome.
All right. So Kevin, talk to us about Kailua Onstage Arts. It's located in Kailua Town. How did it get started?
That's a long story, really. But it was just something that I wanted to do for a long time, and I've been working as a property manager, so that's given me some insight into real estate. And when I saw a property opening up in Kailua that looked appealing to me as a location for a theater, I took out a lease on it.
Nice. Also, so Kevin, I'm sorry, they told me that my audio got cut out when I was doing your introduction. Do you mind if I introduce you again?
No, please. I can't hear that often enough.
All right. For Kevin, in Kevin's space, our first guest is a founder, artistic director, and as he puts it, the head janitor at Kailua Onstage Arts. He received theater training at Yale University and has been seen on stage and in the directing chair here in Hawaii and off-Broadway in New York City. He has acted in past Manoa Valley Theater productions in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and In the Next Room, as well as directing MVT's Stage Kiss and It's a Wonderful Life. And here he is, Kevin Keavney.
Hey!
All right, hopefully everyone heard that because very impressive. So Yale University, talk to us about that. What was it like studying at Yale University?
It's full of a lot of really smart people, way smarter than me. I don't know how I got in there. It was a total fluke, but somehow I made it through. I buried myself in theater. Man, it was an amazing school for theater. I would do between 6 and 8 shows a semester.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was crazy. And on any given weekend there, you had at least 3 shows you could go see on any given weekend, sometimes a dozen shows that you could go see.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. And it spoiled me. When I got to New York was not like that at all.
Oh,
there were lots of shows you could go see. It was a lot harder to get into.
Yeah, I bet. But that's okay because you still performed off Broadway. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
I was in New York for almost 20 years. So, I performed in some really dingy, rat-infested cellars on the Lower East Side. But then I also got to perform in some really beautiful off-Broadway houses. So I kind of saw the gamut of what you could do there. We did everything from site-specific stuff. We did this great show called Secret History of the Lower East Side, and it was set on the roof of a school, which was really cool. doing stuff up there. Yeah, there were just so many interesting shows happening and people doing things that were not the norm at all. I got to work with some really great theater companies, Elevator Repair Service and Target Margin and On Guard Arts and folks like that. I'm really lucky to have gotten a chance to work with them. Those are people who are pushing the envelope in terms of downtown theater and kind of avant-garde theater. And yeah, I'm really thankful that I got to stand on a stage with those folks.
That's good. That's good. And I like the comment that you made about off-Broadway theater really pushing the envelope. The last time that I went there, I would say that the most impactful shows that I saw were the ones off-Broadway at La Mama.
Oh, yeah, La Mama, for sure. And even off-Broadway has a lot of great stuff. Off-Broadway is kind of the community theater of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a real crapshoot in terms of the quality of what you're going to see. But, shows like Urinetown, that's a show that started off Broadway at the Fringe Festival down on the Lower East Side. And there's a lot of success stories like that. Amazing people working in New York. Yeah.
Good. And speaking of shows, Kevin, I understand that today is actually the opening night for Flywheel, Shyster, Flywheel, correct?
Right. Yeah. Flywheel, Shyster, and Flywheel. It's a Marx Brothers radio show that was thought lost to time from, I believe, 1930. And back in those days, they didn't really record things. And so people knew that this show had happened, but there was no record of it. Mm-hmm. However, somebody discovered most of the scripts sitting in the Library of Congress and published them in a book. So now we're able to do those scripts as a stage reading. It's really funny stuff. A lot of it is warm-up material for some of the movies that they made, Monkey Business and Animal Crackers, being two of the movies that drew most heavily from these radio scripts. And it's classic Marx Brothers ridiculousness. Really witty banter, bad puns, just silliness, really.
And if you folks want to catch Flywheel, Shyster, Flywheel, it'll be playing tonight at 7 p.m. A lot opens at 6 p.m. And it will run from the 24th to Saturday and Sunday, possibly.
Sunday's probably going to be canceled because of the hurricane. We have a few tickets that have been sold. I've reached out to those folks. Hopefully they can switch them to another night. It's possible we may bring this back on another weekend. But for right now, tonight and tomorrow night, we're doing it in a parking lot, not at the COA space, but a parking lot in Kailua next to Asagio's, if anyone knows that. It's 340 Uluniu Street. We're opening up that lot at 6 p.m. People can come bring take out dinner or something like that and hang out and eat. It's all going to be very socially distanced. We're going to have about 10 feet between groups of people, between what we're kind of calling pods of people who are coming together. And then, of course, a good amount of distance between the performers and the audience themselves. It's open air. We're encouraging mask use.
Yes.
But we're doing everything we can to keep any risk of transmission as low as possible.
All right. Oh, and Philip Foster is actually on the stream today, and he says, we'll see you there.
Yeah, he's coming down tonight.
All right. So if you folks are in the Kailua area tonight, please check out Flywheel, Shyster, Flywheel, being put on by Kailua Onstage Arts. And that kind of brings me to my next question. With COVID-19, how is Kailua Onstage Arts kind of handling right now?
Not to bring down the mood, but like every arts organization, we're struggling. Yeah, folks, give generously if you can to whatever your favorite arts organizations are. We all really need help getting through this. It's going to be a long time before we're able to perform in a normal way in our theaters. So yeah, I'm having to look for alternatives. So we've been really fortunate that the folks with 50th State Investments, who own this parking lot, are allowing us to do some performances there. We hope that this is the first of many. We've got a few actual shows lined up for August and September. Tonight is a staged reading, but those will be more fully staged shows. Yeah, I mean, we're having to, like everyone else, think of alternative ways to present our work and try to monetize it. Just because we can't perform doesn't mean that, you know, we don't owe rent. So for all, you know, for every theater, from the smallest little, you know, kind of one-man operation like ours is to, you know, national theaters. I mean, the Guthrie in Minnesota is having real problems as well. So, yeah, folks, whatever you can do to help, please help out your local theater.
Yeah. So for the folks who are watching at home right now, how can they lend their support to Kailua Onstage Arts? Are you folks accepting donations, or?
We are. In fact, we just during this kind of quarantine time have been accepted under the umbrella of Fractured Atlas. Fractured Atlas is an umbrella 501c3, so people can donate to them in our name, Kailua Onstage Arts, and then that becomes a tax-deductible donation for them, and then Fractured Atlas disperses the donations to us. So there's that. There, of course, you know, you can go to our show, to Flywheel, Shyster, and Flywheel, or to some of our later shows. Anything you can do will help us, really.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, one last question, and to bring up the mood just a little bit. Every Halloween for the past 3 years, you folks have been putting on a haunted house. And how is it, you know, kind of operating this, like, this literal zoo of people and putting on this haunted house?
Well, you know how it is because you've been involved. It's a bit of a madhouse. We've been fortunate to have some really great stage managers. It really requires a lot of organization to get people on their shifts and off their shifts, and then the line management is always a challenge as well.
Yeah.
You know, the haunted house is a labor of love. I love doing it. I'm heartbroken we're not going to be doing it this year because we can't think of a way to do it in a socially distant, safe way. But we should be back next year. I fully expect that we will. Yeah, I really dig it. It's a lot of fun just building all the sets and the props. And, you know, Rose Wolf always comes up with amazing costumes. And the scares are always a lot of fun. And, of course, you know, Jorge Garcia has been involved for the past 3 years, and his ideas are always amazing. It's a heck of a lot of fun.
All right. Well, thank you, Kevin, for being on the show with us today.
Thanks for joining us.
Reminder, if you folks are in the Kailua area tonight, please go see Flywheel, Shyster Flywheel at 7 p.m., 340 Uluniu Street, Kailua, Hawaii. And
bring a lawn chair. Bring a lawn chair, I should say.
Okay. Bring a lawn chair, too. Or mats. Would mats suffice as well?
You can. You'll be more comfortable in, you know, a lawn chair or a beach chair.
Okay. All right. Bring your Tommy Bahama beach chair if you have one.
There you go.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Kevin, okay?
Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Bye.
Right. And I'm going to ask the people backstage, has my audio come back? Is my audio back? You guys can hear me okay? All right, perfect. We can move on to the next guest. So our next guest is a PhD candidate, no big deal, at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, where he received his Master's of Fine Arts in Directing. He is also an adjunct at Hawaii Pacific University, where he teaches acting and directing. At Manoa Valley Theater, he has directed such plays as Equus and The Legend of Georgia McBride, as well as co-directing The Elephant Man with another alumni of the Manoa Valley Theater live show, Paul Mitri. He has also appeared on stage at MVT playing Peter in Peter and the Starcatcher. We welcome Alex Munro to MVT Live. Alex.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. This cross will disappear in a few seconds. Don't worry.
Oh, I thought you were playing like a flight simulator. All right, what is it? Is that part of your camera?
Yeah, I've since everything's going online, classes, simulations, I try to step up my setup. So I'm using like a DSLR as like a webcam. So,
okay.
But occasionally it acts up and does stuff like that. So
it wants you to be within the crosshairs so that they get a good shot of you.
It wants to be like perfectly focused. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gotta say, I mean, your camera looks amazing. It's almost as if you have like a green screen.
Yeah, it's real. It's real.
Yeah. Fooled me. All right. So, Alex, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born, raised?
So I was born in Texas. My dad was in the Air Force, so we moved around quite a bit. And I spent about 6 years in Iceland, some formative years of my life. But I went to high school and undergrad in Virginia, and I lived there for about 9 years before I moved out here to Hawaii to attend UH for my MFA in directing. And as I was going through my MFA career, I got this opportunity to help develop a program, a partnership between the Department of Theater and Dance and our School of Nursing and Dental Hygiene called HealthCast. And it's where we recruit and train theater students to play patients at the School of Nursing Sim Center, which you have done, and I'm going to definitely ask you about that. And, you know, I was approaching graduation, and my supervisors were sort of like, you know, we're not quite ready for you to leave. So why don't you stick around and use this as a topic for a PhD dissertation? So got roped into that, and I'm trying to use this summer to finish it up so I can graduate in the spring.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, and luckily for like PhD candidates, a lot of your time is researching. So social distancing on campus is pretty much an automatic for you folks.
Yeah, but you know what? So our program has grown over the past 7.5 years, right? We support simulations all across the undergraduate and graduate nursing curriculum, the dental hygiene program. We have interprofessional sims. And this past summer, we actually spent about 6 weeks helping the Hawaii Department of Health train contact tracers. So we had 4 of our graduate students getting paid to perform through Zoom as contacts. And we had professional healthcare providers from all across the state learning how to be a contact tracer to help us with this crisis. Nice.
I remember the email going out about contact tracing, and I was told by Walt Gaines that the contact tracing was a good gig. So yeah. Truly, thank you to you folks for training people to be contact tracers, because I mean, as you can see, the cases have been going up. Yeah, so it's definitely a necessary job for the moment.
Yeah, it was, you know, we always talk about, and I really do believe, you know, that theater can do, that theater can change the world. That theater is important, right? It can be more than just entertainment, although entertainment can be important itself. But it was really, to use the word wonderful in its appropriate context, it was wonderful to be part of this moment and to be able to contribute in some way to this training process.
Okay. So Alex, like Kevin, you are a director and an actor. Which of those 2 hats do you prefer?
They both present interesting challenges, but I think I'd have to go with directing. I love the opportunity to work with just a wide array of designers, of all the actors. If you have any sort of choreographers that come in, dialect coaches, you just get to sort of work alongside all these amazingly talented people, and you get to be part of telling that story. So yeah, I'll go with directing.
Nice. And speaking of directing, you and Paul Mitri co-directed The Elephant Man. What was your folks' process of directing the show, and also having Paul, who was co-directing, in the show?
Be the Elephant Man?
Yeah, the Elephant Man. How was it directing a co-director?
Who, by the way, was also my MFA committee chair.
Yeah.
And sits on my committee for my PhD. So yeah, there was definitely no like pressure, but and it was like one of his dream roles as well to be the Elephant Man. It was great. Paul, I mean, I'm sure your viewers know from seeing him on stage, seeing the shows that he's directed, being on this program. He's an incredibly gracious, generous person. Really, despite being a committee member. Saw me, truly as the co-director, and we were able to bounce ideas off each other, disagree, work through those disagreements to come up with some really cool ideas. We also were really fortunate to have a wonderful assistant director, Michelle Joanne, who helped us, because if your audience saw the production, they'll remember that we took the stage all the way down to the concrete.
Yep.
Had 3 giant wooden staircases on wheels that had to be moved by our chorus and reconfigured. And so we tried to figure that out at Iolani with rugs, but it doesn't translate fully when you finally are with the actual behemoth staircases. So it really was a collaborative effort to make that show as spectacular as it was.
That's good. And I mean, whose idea was it for the stairs? That
was Deanne Kennedy, who was our scenic designer, and we had some ideas about this idea that this concept of being disabled, disfigured was sort of a societal construct, and so we had this idea of like having the stage being built in real time, and that sort of got distilled into this sort of like beautifully minimalist, in a way, set of staircases that this poor disfigured man had to keep coming up and down constantly.
We have some comments from Christina Sutrove saying this is a beast. And also Rachel Uyeno says stairs forever.
Yep, and she had the big poofy, Victorian era dresses to go up and down.
Yeah, I remember. I think one of the shows, Shindy, who was part of the crew, her ankle got caught in one of the stairs and left a nasty bite on her ankle.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of goes to show that just how much we really do give our blood, sweat, and tears, even as community theater actors, right? That we really, I think MVT especially is really fortunate to get amazing talent on stage, off stage, in support in the administration, which is why people should definitely go and donate on the ManoaValleyTheater.com website or the phone number that's scrolling across the screen there. Come see the shows when we finally get to come back into the space.
Yeah. And speaking of coming to see the shows, you were working on a show before all of the lockdowns started happening, where Words Once Were.
Yep.
Saying that 5 times fast. As a last question, just kind of go through like your process with that show.
Sure. It's written by an Australian playwright named Finnegan Kruckmar. So another fun thing to say 5 times fast. He's an incredible playwright. HDY's done a couple shows with him. He actually was here in December. Before we were supposed to do the show, I got to work with him, go out to dinner with him. We were planning, and we still plan on having these incredible projections sort of integrated into the set and into the acting. The play is a family-friendly play about a city that has limited language to 1,000 words. And if you say any word outside of that 1,000 words, you're erased. And people sort of forget that you exist. And so there's a lot of opportunities there for stage magic. COVID canceled us or postponed us. We're hoping to bring it back up in the spring. And for the fall, we haven't quite officially gotten permission to do the show, so I can't quite announce it yet. But I think we're looking to do an outdoor show at Aloha Tower sort of addressing some of the current social climate that we're in.
All right. Well, thank you, Alex, for coming on the show today and sharing with us your acting and directing and your credentials as a PhD candidate.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Do you mind if I bring Kip back in and we can close the show down?
Go for it.
All right. Hey, Kip.
Hey, thanks, Alex. That was great.
Yeah.
I learned a whole lot. But that's why you're a PhD candidate and I'm not. No,
Hey,
thank you very much. And we look forward to having you at MVT in December, directing Christmas Carol live radio play.
That'd be fun.
I'm sure it's going to be great fun. It's a great cast, and we're looking forward to it. All right. Anything else, my friends?
Nothing else except if you folks haven't got supplies for Douglas, you should start before mayhem ensues indefinitely. Couple of stores you can check out. Long's, help out your local stores, buy supplies from local stores. They're definitely getting hit hard by COVID-19. Yeah, also candles. Get candles. Because when the lights go out, at least you have something to guide your way. Yeah. Candles.
All right. Can't wait to have you all back in our house. We'll see you soon.
All right. Aloha, everyone.
Aloha.